Today on The Young and the Restless, Sharon pushes Mariah away, Adam wants to get back with Chelsea, and Nick turns to his family for help. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Society, Adam and Chelsea discuss Connor wanting them to get back together as a family. He wonders where it's coming from. Chelsea thinks it's maybe because he sensed something between them. Adam doesn't think they gave any of that away to Connor. Chelsea says they have to be sure not to give him false hope. Adam says, "Of course we can't." Chelsea really thought Connor had accepted the fact that the two of them weren't going to be a couple again. Just then, Billy walks in with Phyllis. Phyllis greets them and Adam nods Phyllis. She asks about Connor, and they say he's doing better. Chelsea says hi to Billy, who says hi back, but walks to the bar. Phyllis says he's in a hurry and follows. Chelsea tells Adam that Billy's angry. Adam thought he put on a better act than that. Adam asks if they're going to have to feel guilty now every time they see Billy or Sally. Chelsea reminds him they hurt them badly. Adam doesn't like how Billy blew her off. Chelsea points out she cheated on him twice, and says they'll just have to live with the discomfort. At the bar, Phyllis remarks on the frostiness between Billy and Chelsea. "Please tell me she didn't dump you for Adam." Billy says she didn't leave him for Adam, and they're not back together. Phyllis thinks something has happened between the two of them. Billy tells her to stop, she's digging for gossip. His personal life is off limits. Mind your own business. Phyllis says fine, but points out they're working together. There's a certain amount she needs to know. If there's bad blood, it will have an impact on their company. Maybe it would help you to talk to a friend. Billy says he's fine. Phyllis thinks he's about to explode. At Newman, Victoria presses Victor to respond to her proposal about Billy. He snarks that this ex-son-in-law is the gift that keeps on giving. He refuses to reconsider buying him out. They debate as to whether this is just good business, as Victor claims. Victoria wants her mother to help her out, but she's with her father on this. She can't always bail Billy out. Nick walks in and Nikki asks, "Is everything all right?" He shakes his head, "No, it isn't." Nick tells them that Sharon is lashing out and Daniel and Lucy. He describes the scene in Society. Victoria can understand her being upset. Nick says it's beyond upset, and it's not an isolated incident. He feels the accident was a trigger. Every time she's around Daniel and Lucy, it sets her off. Victor asks if they've spoken to her. Nick says she shrugs it off and claims it's her new meds. He doesn't know what to think. Sharon is at the point where she's actively avoiding them. He knows they're not big fans of her, but he was hoping for some family advice. Nikki and Victoria reassure Nick and ask how they can help. Victor asks what he thinks is wrong with her. Nick's not sure. They don't know if she's keeping up with her doctor's appointments or even being honest with him. He wonders if he should bypass Sharon and go directly to her doctor himself. In the motel room, Sharon listens as Mariah tells her on the phone that she's in Madison. "What? Madison? Why?" she blurts. Maria says she's knocking on her hotel room door. Sharon stammers and asks her to hold on. Cameron mutters, "I told you your family was going to check your story. How are you going to get yourself out of this?" Sharon goes back to the call and claims she was taking a sip of water. Mariah asks her to let her into her hotel room. Sharon says she's not there. She's out for a walk. She's fine, was just a little bit dizzy. Mariah wants to meet up with her, but Sharon says that's not necessary. Mariah offers to handle the meeting. Sharon says the CEO canceled the meeting. Mariah asks, "So, you came all the way to Madison for nothing?" Sharon chirps, "It looks like we both did. Sorry. I will see you back at home. Love you, honey. Bye." She disconnects and Mariah looks stunned on the other end. Cameron complains that she shouldn't have cut Mariah off. Now she'll never let it go. Sharon's phone rings and Cameron bellows, "Answer the phone." Sharon does, and Mariah tells her she hung up before she got to finish. "Are you mad at me or something?" Sharon says no, she must not have heard her is all. She repeats that she'll see her at home, but Mariah wants to meet up in Madison and hang out. Sharon wants to just meet up at home. She needed some time to herself. Mariah thinks she doesn't sound like herself. She would like to see her before they head back. Sharon snips, "Mariah, stop it." She rails at her about coming to Madison to check up on her. "You came here too?" Sharon rants that this is all making her wonder if Faith really had a crisis. Was it a ploy on Nick's part to get her to come home? Were they waiting to interrogate her at home? Mariah concedes they are worried about her. Sharon wants them to give her some room to breathe. Do you all really think that I'm that far gone? At society, Billy tells Phyllis that when Chelsea and Adam were in Baltimore with Connor, they slept together. She's sorry, he says, so am I. They debate whether it happening just once makes a difference. Phyllis thinks it makes sense that they got closer in some fashion. Billy thanks her for the visual. He complains that he's sure Adam used Chelsea's vulnerability to get her into bed. Phyllis won't argue about Adam's character, but they don't really know what happened. Billy says Chelsea agonized about it, but Adam stonewalled Sally. Phyllis is hearing that he doesn't really blame Chelsea for this. Maybe you can forgive her? Across the room, Chelsea wonders why Billy and Phyllis are even together. She was at his office the other day too. Adam thinks they were made for each other. Chelsea tells him that was very insensitive, so he apologizes. Talk turns back to Connor. Adam tells her that their son senses something, and them wishing he isn't going to make it go away. At Newman, Victoria tells Nick that Sharon's doctor won't talk to him. Victor wonders if he can convince him that her life is in danger. Nick doesn't think she'd intentionally harm himself. Victoria and Victor bicker about the idea of Nick bullying the doctor. Nick thinks he should tell him what he knows and what he's seen. Victoria says she might see that as a betrayal. Nick has to take that risk. Victor urges him to take Faith out of the whole scenario. Have her live with you for a while. Nick sighs, she won't do that. Victor says she doesn't need to see her other spin out again. Nick argues that's not the answer. Victoria and Nikki favor giving the doctor all the facts. What other choice does he have? Nick has to do it, even if it means upsetting Sharon. He thanks them for having Sharon's best interests at heart. He'll tell Mariah and Faith his plan, and hopefully the doctor will have a strategy. Nick tells his family he's lucky. He can always talk to them about anything. Victor says that's what family is for. In the motel, Sharon listens as Mariah pleads with her to meet up face to face. Cameron tells Sharon, moment of truth. Sharon confesses, I'm not in Madison. I never went there at all. Mariah's confused. Sharon says she knew what was coming when she got home last night. She couldn't take it anymore, so she left. She called the CEO and postponed the meeting in Madison. She wants to be alone and think about her life and where it's going. Mariah says she's scaring her. Sharon promises she won't do anything to herself, but she can't live under the microscope. They're suffocating her, so she ran. Mary is sorry if Sharon feels they've put pressure on her. They just love her so much. Sharon tells her it's reached a point where she can't take it anymore. Mariah is trying to understand, but she thinks there's a way they can all work it out as a family. Sharon says there isn't. At least not now. Mariah asks, what are you going to do? Sharon's going off the grid for a little while. Maybe she'll go to Sedona. She warns, don't try to track me down either. They all just need to give her space to heal. She'll reach out when she's ready. With that, she hangs up. Cameron tells Sharon that needed to be done. Sharon squeezes her eyes shut in a grimace. At society, Chelsea is surprised Connor even wants them back together again, considering everything that happened the last time they lived together, and afterwards. Adam asks, have you thought about it? Chelsea can't believe he'd even ask her that. The answer is no. She's been too mortified and full of guilt. Why? Have you thought about it? Adam says, no, it's the same for me. She thinks they need to talk to Connor so he doesn't get his hopes up. Adam smirks, got it. Chelsea senses he has something on his mind and urges him to come clean. Adam says you asked for it. I lied. The idea of them as a couple did enter his mind. He can't deny it. Like we used to be, better than we used to be.